What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Mr. Toad's favorite nerd, and today we are looking, well, let me explain that. At Disney World in Orlando, there used to be an attraction ride called Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, is the connection I'm trying to, don't worry too much about it. X-Transbots Flipout. I bought this through Titan One Toys, one of the companies I love doing business with. A link to their store will be in the description. Give them a look, tell them Scully sent you. Not much to talk about accessory-wise, but we do need to talk about it, so let's get started. As you can see, the gun fits on the car as shown. It has a metallic gray finish, which looks nice, and the handle does flip up. It's really well. It's really surprisingly well sculpted and painted. It looks good. One thing I did want to go over real quick was this is the book, right? And it says that, you know, it's got this guy coming and he's sold separately, and this guy's coming and he's sold separately, and this guy's coming and he's sold separately, and this guy's coming and he's sold separately, but he doesn't have a trailer, and then this guy's coming and he's sold separately. I wonder if this is going to be included in the Motormaster. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm asking. Does anyone know for sure? As for the car itself, it's really sharp. The metallic red, the metallic gray, looks good. Red translucent for the windows, smart choice. I like all that. Little gold accent there, little gold accents for the Ferrari on the side. All the stuff in the front, the grille and everything is painted to the nines. Brake lights, turn signals painted, exhaust painted, the wheels are painted. This is something we do have to talk about. It comes with a piece of plastic on it, and the plastic has a layer of adhesive, and a lot of the adhesive has stuck to the figure. Now I can rub most of this off, and I'll show that later on, but just so you know, it will pick up dirt and stuff. Like this is all from the table and whatnot. So that's a bit of a bummer, but you know, easily fixable, so not the biggest deal in the world. A really, really sharp looking car. Has a little bit of a peekaboo. I'm not sure if you can see that, like the head, like you can see like the eyes and nose is like he's looking right out. Like if you look between the thing, which is, it doesn't bother me, but I know it bothers some people, so I'm mentioning it. But yeah, a really well decoed car, some good weight to it. Looks very nice. Size comparison wise, there it is with Tiger Track, so looks pretty good. And fits an Optimus trailer with no problem. Let's get him transformed. So open up these tabs on both sides. This will allow you to get a little bit of space when we do the next step. Easy. And unfortunately mine broke. There's a tight tolerance here, but when you're moving it to try to loosen up these, it just snapped it right off from where they peg into this piece, which is a real bummer. Anyway, oh God, it's so frustrating. Bend it down at a 90-degree angle, and then you want to open up these pieces here, these rear bumper pieces on both sides, and that will allow you to flip the legs all the way down. On the side of the leg, make sure that you have this piece untabbed so that you can take this whole panel around and then flip it 180. And then this piece comes around to the inside, and this piece comes around to the inside, and the whole section will come back around to the back of the leg. And then you can flip the foot out and the heel spur, and that should do it for one foot. So we'll go ahead and repeat that, and we'll take this one off, well, flip it out so that we can remove this from its place, turn it around, tuck it back in, and as you do, tuck this piece in and tuck the bumper piece in. And it's very intuitive, so I know it's one of those things where it's so many pieces have to turn, you know, 180 or 90 that it's hard to kind of explain. But I'm telling you, when you go to do it, it's extremely intuitive. So I have no doubt that you'll be able to figure it out. The next thing you're going to want to do is try to get this door out and out of the way, which is another tight tolerance. And be careful because there are a lot of translucent pieces. There it is. Then you want to make room between the front, get it in there, and break this connection here is what you're trying to do. Same on this side. And then you can open up all of this. On this piece, flip the top section down, Flip the fenders to the inside and then flip it down on itself and it'll snap into place. Fold the side windows in and the side mirrors. Pull the arms out, like just extend them rather. And then you want to rotate the shoulders down so that that port is exposed and kind of in line, and then rotate the tires so that they're sitting up. You can rotate the head up as well, and then these side pieces have to come around and peg in, and it takes a little bit of finagling and pressure, but they will go. And I might have to get this one off camera, but let's see. We're almost there. There. So it's just not the best. And then bring the shoulders down. This up, and this will notch in to there. And we'll clean them up. We'll take a look at them. So before we get started, I just wanted to show you, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff now. And I'll tell you how easy or difficult that was, but I just wanted you to see it. So there it is. As you can see, I haven't got it all off. It actually proved to be a little bit more challenging than I would have initially thought. But it's such a bummer because it's gross. You know, it's disgusting. All right, let's talk about it. So we have this gray finish pretty much throughout. It's painted beautifully. The red finish on the face looks good as well. The face sculpt looks fine. It's not great. It's a little weird looking, but it's fine. And then the eyes look good, and they're painted like a metallic purple. It looks great. The paint is great, fantastic. So the head is on a hinge swivel, but it bumps into the rear windshield. And there's a lot of like clearance issues with this. It's not a bad figure, but there's a lot of clearance issues. So the head bumps up against the windshield. You can kind of move the windshield to get a fuller range, but you're like, it's just not perfect. With it as is, it's fairly limited. Hinged up, that works good, and then nothing down, but that's more of a character design than it is the design of the figure. We have a waist swivel. Once again, it's a little limited. You can get past it, but it ends up hitting the bottom piece of this windshield against the kind of the guts in here. So that's a little unfortunate as well. The white looks good, except for the adhesive stuff that's stuck to it. And then the blue paint looks great on there, and then it has this black glossy finish here that looks good as well. You have a nab crunch that gets you all the way, so that works perfectly. And if you use that, you won't have any issue with the... See, like you can get the head all the way around, but you're grinding up against the back of this translucent windshield, so it's just not perfect. All right, so the shoulders are on a ball peg that's attached to a hinge inside. It gets you 90 degrees, and then you can rotate it. If you get the head a little bit out of the way, you can keep on getting it. So no problems there. Spins all the way around. Tolerance fairly well. It is a ball peg, so that's unfortunate. But because it's a ball peg, I thought you would get a little bit of a... You get ever so slightly. So not really worth talking about. Rubber wheels, I'm not sure I mentioned that. This red paint is gorgeous. Looks fantastic. Bicep swivel, double jointed hinge that gets you the full run for the elbow. You got a hinge for the wrist, and then the fingers are on a base pin knuckle, so all of that works fine. Same for the other side. You have his hip flaps here and here that expose a universal joint. Soft ratcheted out for the full Van Damme. Soft ratcheted forward and back for the full Monty. So no issues there. Thigh swivel's built around the universal, so that's perfect. The universal joint is painted as well, so that's beautiful. And then you have I don't know why. Is this double jointed? I thought it was double jointed, but I think it is double jointed. But I'm only really using one hinge. Either way, you get 90 degrees there, so that works well. And then we'll come down to the feet. Ankles. Tilt down, pretty good. Tilt up, pretty good. Classic rocker, pretty good. So no real issues there. Just like all of the engineering is in there for articulation. It's just that some of it works properly. Most of it does, to be fair, except for the head and the waist. And then there it is from the back. So there it is with Breakdown, Takara Tomy Red Alert, and Transformation Wildrider. It's interesting, like he's slightly shorter. Final thoughts wise, let's talk about the negatives. First and foremost, I gotta talk about the piece that broke, obviously. Be careful. It's a translucent piece and the tolerance is very tight. It's a difficult connection to break. And it should have been a more difficult piece to break, if you know what I mean. Am I right? So that's a bummer. And it kind of killed my vibe for the whole review, to be honest. And then the only other complaint I have is that there's some clearance issues where the head and the backpack meet and where the side windows are in relation to the waist swivel. And those are my only real issues. Positives wise, there's also a lot to talk about though. The paint is phenomenal. This is the second Transformer figure that I've bought in a while that blew me away with the paint finish. It is a beautiful looking figure. The articulation, with the exception of those 2 points, works pretty much perfectly. Even the shoulder, like, I usually like a little bit more of an outward reach because the tire ends up banging against this piece, but like I'm okay with working around it with just getting this and then switching the bicep swivel and sort of being able to kind of work around it because of how beautiful it ends up looking. I think they did a really good job with the engineering as well. Once again, aside from that one piece being translucent, you know, I think if they would have gone with this metallic red over top of plastic, it would have looked just as good, if not better, as the translucent. And perhaps that tolerance issue wouldn't have been an issue. The materials feel good. There's die cast in it. It has good weight to it. Cleans up like a champ. Decent hardware. The ratchets in the knees are phenomenal. I wish they were in the hips as well, to be honest. I wish they wouldn't have used a ball peg for the shoulders, but what are you gonna do? You know, and to be honest, Breakdown had the same issue with the waist swivel as well, so maybe that's just going to be a theme amongst this set. Hard to say. The sculpt is really well done and accurate. The face isn't great, but it's definitely presentable. 7 out of 10, easily. And it has a pretty good presence thanks to that striking paint color. And one of the things that's worth noting also as a positive is like little things like this. Like that's a painted screw cover. You know, they didn't have to do that. Little stuff like that goes a long way with me. So it is a recommend for me, especially at the price point. Just be cautious. I snapped both pieces and I didn't put that much, you know, pressure on it. It's just a hard connection to break. I did it again. But anyway, still a good figure. Just use a little bit of caution and be aware of the few limitations. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.